Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. As you can see, I am dressed as my favorite Disney princess, Snow White. In our first story, we met Amara, the Enchanted Maiden. She met Sandolph, a wizard, and they were married and lived happily ever after. They had many adventures together, and this is one of them. Our story begins with Sandolph receiving an invitation to a ball from the Grand Wizard. It was rumored that the Grand Wizard was ready to retire and was going to pick a successor. Sandolph dreamed of being picked. There was only one problem. If Sandolph was picked to be the Grand Wizard, it would mean moving far, far away to Dragonia, and his beloved wife Amara would miss her parents and all of her animal friends. Everyone thought that the Grand Wizard was going to pick Duncan, his nephew, to be his successor. Even though he thought he had no chance of being picked, Sandolph asked Amara if she would accompany him to Dragonia. It would be a long, long trip to go to Dragonia, but if they did go there, they would see the fabled Golden Palace and the beautiful gardens, and best of all, the breathtaking sunsets. Amara agreed to go, and they decided to leave that very night. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, Sandolph is a wizard. Can't he just immediately transport him there? Well, he might be a wizard, but he had limited powers. He wasn't powerful enough to transport them all the way to Dragonia because it was very, very far away. They had been traveling for a whole week, and they finally saw the Golden Palace in the distance. But all of a sudden, Amara had a thought. What if they ran into the Black Dragon? Sandolph said, don't worry about the Black Dragon because he only stays high in the mountains and we're on the low road. But Amara insisted on following her thought and her worries. And she said, but what if we do run into him? And Sandolph said, don't worry, I have a plan. But before he had a chance to tell her the plan, Amara was so exhausted she lay down in the lush grass and took a nap. Sandolph then said to himself, yes, I know exactly what I would do. They arrived at Dragonia that evening, the very evening of the ball. But when Amara unpacked her suitcase, she realized she forgot her ball gown, and she sobbed, oh no, now I won't be able to go to the ball. I don't have my ball gown to wear. Sandolph got a big, big smile on his face, and he said, no, my dear, you will be the belle of the ball. He raised his magic wand and waved it over her head, and all of a sudden she was wearing the most beautiful ball gown Amara had ever seen. When they entered the ball, everyone rushed around them and said that Amara had the most beautiful ball gown that they had ever seen. Amara had such a wonderful time that night. She danced and danced the night away. But when 12 o'clock struck, the Grand Wizard said that he had an announcement to make. He was going to choose a successor because he was retiring. The room was buzzing with excitement. Everyone wondered who would be the next Grand Wizard. The Grand Wizard made the announcement that whosoever would be chosen must vanquish the Black Dragon. Everyone wondered if Duncan was going to be able to do it. But Duncan was so afraid, he ran from the room. The Grand Wizard said, let it be known, this is no easy task. The Black Dragon is 20 feet tall, and he can blow fireballs. No one stood forward, except Sandolph. And with the determined look he had in his eye, Amara knew better than to try to talk him out of it. The next morning, Sandolph went up high into the mountains to summon the Black Dragon. When the Black Dragon did show up, he said to him, if you're here to vanquish me, you will not succeed. And Sandolph surprised him with his answer. He said, I'm not here to vanquish you. I'm here to be your friend. The dragon couldn't believe his ears. He said, what? Really? You want to be my friend? No one ever wanted to be my friend. Why is it that you want to be my friend and nobody else does? Sandolph said, well, that's because I'm a wizard, and I could see that you have a kind heart. The Black Dragon was so overwhelmed, his face was streaming with tears of joy. Sandolph explained to him that he would tell the people of the village that he was really a very nice dragon and all they needed to do was be friends with him. The townspeople all embraced the dragon and became friends with him. And they proclaimed him Alexander, the protector of their city. The Grand Wizard thanked Sandolph for his bravery and the fact that he didn't have to vanquish the dragon after all. He declared that he was going to be the next Grand Wizard, and everyone in the room said, "Hail Sandolph, our Grand Wizard." Sandolph was happy, but there was only one thing that was bothering him, that Amara's parents and all her animal friends were so far away. He mentioned it to the Grand Wizard, and the Grand Wizard said to him, "Well, why don't you bring them here?" And Sandolph said, "Well, I'd love to, but I don't have enough power to do so." The Grand Wizard had a twinkle in his eye, and he said to Sandolph, "Well, why don't you give it a try?" And so Sandolph twirled around his magic wand, and right before their eyes, Amara's parents and all her animal friends appeared. Sandolph realized that the Grand Wizard had transferred his powers to him. Amara was happy to be reunited with her parents and all of her animal friends, and she said to Sandolph, "Under the circumstances, I'd be happy to live here." Amara and the wizard had many adventures together, but that's another story.